I was always into exercise when I was younger, a teenager and in college. And then when I was in my early 20s, I had a health scare. And I started to give some more consideration to what can I do to take better care of myself in general. And so I started doing a lot of reading about nutrition. And then when I got into my mid-20s, I decided to make a career out of it.
Jonah and I got married in August, and we both thought it would be a great idea for us to join forces and sort of become the husband and wife duo for nutritionists. And here we are with Soolman Nutrition and Wellness.
I think the fitness-related activity that I've been most proud of in my life is riding my bike across the country for charity. So in 2006, I flew out to Seattle with my bike and rode back to Boston. And every day, whenever we got to a new town or destination, I took this map out of my backpack and took a little red Sharpie and drew a very short segment on the map of where we had gone that day on our bikes. And after the ride was over, the red line stretched all the way across the country, all the way from Seattle to Boston. I got into private practice with my wife because I already had a private practice in 2011. And then in 2012, we decided that she would join the practice because what she offers and what I offer complement each other very nicely.
I focus more on eating disorders and disordered eating in general. I work with all ages. I have a 12-year-old right now. I've seen women up in their 70s.
It was very exciting for us to set up shop actually in Wellesley because we're from this area. She grew up right here in Wellesley. I grew up next door in Needham, and I actually used to work at Thunder Sporting Goods right down the street. I used to sell running shoes and string tennis rackets there, and now they're since out of business. But so we both had ties to this area, so it's really exciting and actually a nice privilege too that we're able to work in this community.
When you come into our main building, we're on the second floor. We have a waiting room, so you come right in, you sit down in the office. We have complimentary tea and water, magazines, so you can sit and wait and relax. And then Jonah has his own office and I have my own office, so we can see you in a private location.
When someone comes here for the first time, either they have never seen a dietitian before or maybe they've seen someone else. And so they often come with an idea of how things are going to go. And I think there's often this expectation that we're going to judge them about what they're doing, that we're going to tell them, you have to stop eating that, you have to start eating this, this is what you should be trying to achieve. And that's actually not at all what happens here.
We're helping the client reach their goals, not telling them what to do, sort of letting them tell us what works for them. You are the expert in your own life. And so we don't pretend to think, we know what's best for you. We want to work with you together to reach your goals.
The phrase that we like to use is we say we take off our expert hat when we come here. And what we mean by that is we don't talk down to people, we work with people. And that's reflected in the way that we've chosen to set up our office. The round table that I have here is very symbolic of the fact that everybody's an equal. Everybody has the same chair, everyone has a comfy chair, so there's no, the practitioner has a really nice chair and the patient has a crappy chair. That doesn't happen here.
There's no real regimented way of doing it. It's just sort of a free-flow conversation. We identify the goals, so for someone who has anorexia, perhaps it's learning how to eat regular meals. And so I'll help that person figure out a meal plan, or if they're not doing a meal plan, just figuring out how to get regular meals into their day.
We use a test called a bioimpedance analysis. BIA is our acronym that we use. And what the BIA does is it helps you to track those kind of changes over time. Have they gained fat? Have they gained muscle? Have they gained water? So we can tell if someone is gaining weight or losing weight, what are they gaining, what are they losing? And that helps us to figure out, are the changes that they're experiencing more or less healthy? The BIA test is it's a very easy test and it's free and it's non-invasive. All it involves is somebody laying down on the table. They do not need to change or anything like that. I just put 2 sets of pads on them. 2 pads on a foot and 2 pads on a hand, and that's it. And then they just lay there. And what the machine does is it sends a very low level electric current through somebody's body. They feel absolutely nothing, and it's totally safe as long as they're not pregnant and they don't have a pacemaker. And it runs for maybe about 10 seconds, or it's really quick. But then what it does is it prints out all sorts of data that we can use to really track their progress over time. This is just a tracking tool, so the idea is that today we got a bunch of baseline data, and as we go forward, we're just going to track these numbers and see how they change. So the first thing we look at here is the machine takes the weight that we got from the scale and it breaks it up into 2 categories. You've got your fat mass and then basically everything that's not fat, or as they call it, your fat-free mass. If somebody's interested in learning more about what we do, whether they want to come in for an appointment or they have a friend or a family member who might be interested, the best way to find out more information is to look at our website, which is soolmannutrition.com. And from there, they can see links to our Facebook page, our Twitter feed. They can see some of our blog entries so they can get a better sense of what we do and how we do it. They can see a list of the insurances that we take. We take Blue Cross, Harvard Pilgrim, Tufts, Cigna, and Medicare. And we're in the process of getting credentialed for Aetna and United as well. Probably by the time people are watching this, we'll probably be on those two panels as well. So we can make sure the interested person can make sure that we take whatever insurance they have. And also they can see our phone number and our email address. So if anyone ever has any questions or concerns, they're always free to contact us.